Hi, Aaron. Welcome. On behalf of the Shorewood Women's Club, I want to thank you for running and representing the village of Shorewood and the school board. Although this election is uncontested, the Shorewood Women's Club understands how important it is that residents get to know who is representing them on the boards. Thank you for taking the time to answer a few questions for the public. In 2015, we saw a need for a different kind of candidate forum for Shorewood. We have partnered with the League of Women Voters of Milwaukee County for a completely independent presentation of candidates for the village. Since this election is uncontested, the League will not facilitate this forum. Shorewood Women's Club has been a proud supporter of the needs of the Shorewood community. We have supported local public education at all levels. We saw the need for a public library in the 1930s. We took a few shelves of available books and worked to increase the numbers of books for the residents. This led us to open a library in Capitol Drive, which is now City Market. Our continuing work goes to support the Shorewood School District through the Seed Foundation, provide a student scholarship at Shorewood High School, and provide a scholarship to a student at the University of Wisconsin-Milwaukee, which we've done for over 80 years. And we also contribute to the FAST Fund, which benefits lower income students who attend MATC. So with that, I welcome you, and we will get to questions. So there are 7 questions. You'll have up to 3 minutes to answer each question, and some time at the end if you have anything else to add. So first, tell us a little bit about yourself and the relevant skills that you bring to the role of school board member.
Well, thank you for having me, giving me the opportunity to kind of share where I'm coming from and what I'm hoping to do as part of the school board. So I'm a native New Yorker, but don't hold that against me.
New York too.
Okay, great. I moved to Wisconsin to go to UW-Madison. I moved around a little bit, but lived in Chicago for 14 years before moving to Milwaukee 11 years ago, and the last 9 in Shorewood. I have 3 children. My daughter's a sophomore. My 2 younger children are at Milwaukee Jewish Day School, and my middle one will be a freshman next year at Shorewood High School. So ultimately we'll have 3 kids who are at or go through the Shorewood High School system. I think what allows me to be a relevant contributor to the Shorewood School Board is that I'm a professional educator. So I started off working as a high school social studies teacher, Chicago Public Schools, then public charter schools. I was a principal of 2 public charter schools here in Milwaukee, then the head of school of Milwaukee Jewish Day School, and then recently returned to the public charter organization I work at, Carmen Schools, as their CEO. So I'm passionate about education, about equity for all kids and families, and really making sure that we hold a high bar for kids who have really unlimited potential.
Wonderful. Oh, and state your full name just for the audience.
Full name is Aaron Lippman, no middle name.
Thank you, Aaron. So why did you decide to run for school board, and tell us briefly what you think are the top priorities for district families right now?
So my number one reason for wanting to join the school board is honestly dissatisfaction. I think there are excellent educators and leaders working hard in Shorewood, and I respect the work they're doing. And I believe that the leader of the district and the superintendent is quality, strong leader, and yet in the 2 years that my daughter has been in the high school, my wife and I have been dissatisfied. We believe there's a lack of intentionality in terms of the program and how adults, especially teachers, are supported and developed to be really consistent in holding a high bar for students. While I appreciate the idea that there is no leveled classes for 9th and 10th graders, if that's going to be the case, then on the flip side, there should be significant support for teachers to differentiate for both low, medium, and high students. Currently, that is not the case, and I see that in evidence with my daughter and her friends. I think that thinking about the future of Shorewood schools, what's going to allow us to be financially sustainable. I am a big fan of equity and inclusion if it is anchored in pretty clear metrics that allow us to say, oh, this is how kids are growing and improving, whether they are living in Shorewood or come from outside the district. I don't know that those things are happening. And then finally, as a community member, I don't feel as though there has been an opportunity outside of the strategic planning process to really engage families who have kids in the district, at least in the time I've lived here, and I feel like that's an opportunity that we shouldn't be passing up.
Excellent. Well, so what aspects of our school district, this is a good segue in a way, so what aspects of our school district are you most proud of and why?
Certainly. Again, I think that the fact that inclusion is a core component, I think there are like blind spots there, but overall I think that is powerful. It's one of the reasons we chose Shorewood. I think that the theater and music program, I think across the ages, but I can speak specifically about high school, are phenomenal and really bring a level of professionalism and a high bar for students based on the adults that facilitate it. And I think that is just a crown jewel in like Shorewood schools. I think that the level of clubs, extracurriculars, electives that are offered to kids are really powerful and broad and really speak to the different interests of students across the spectrum. Those are areas that I see as strengths. And again, I think that the teachers and leaders in the district are capable, excellent professionals that overall I have a lot of respect for.
Excellent. Okay, so at a time when federal and state funding is lagging and costs are up and the district enrollment is down, please share your thoughts on district financial management and sustainability, including the possibility of school realignment and the closing of a building and/or future referendums.
I think first off, and this is not, there's a lot I need to learn about how the district runs, initiatives, how resources are utilized. And again, as a resident of Shorewood and having my daughter in the school system for a couple of years now, I don't feel like there's transparency from my perspective on how funds are utilized, what the short and long-term, funds are, and then what risks exist. I know that enrollment across schools in Wisconsin and other places has gone down, less people having kids, or having kids later in life. So I am a fan of bringing kids into the district from outside of the district, only if we have evidence that we are meeting their needs and helping to grow them as fast as they need to so they're on grade level or above when they graduate from a Shorewood school. I am not afraid of like hard decisions around consolidating schools. I understand that that's problematic or scary for some families, and I think what would be far scarier is to not have a financially solvent entity. And so I want to make sure that we're looking really hard at what it means to have financial sustainability and what might need to change to allow for families to continue to want to come and live in Shorewood and send their kids to our schools, because I think the schools are the bedrock of the community, and that's why people move here.
I agree. So, in your opinion, and you did touch on this, but maybe do it in a little more detail, and in your opinion, how well is the district currently serving the needs of a diverse set of learners, from special education to students at grade level to advanced learners? And what do you see as the opportunities and challenges for the future?
So again, there's a lot I don't know, and I don't want to make assumptions. If anything, I want to assume the best, and then seek to understand more. It would appear, and I don't know. My two older kids went to Lake Bluff for a year before we switched them to Milwaukee Jewish Day School, and that was a long time ago. And I know there's been a lot of leadership transition the elementaries and the middle school. So I can't speak to where that is now. I can speak to the high school, and again, I think that there is a lack of intentionality to hold every kid to the highest of expectations so that academics come first and we create a sense of belonging and community for every student in the school. So I think that something that is probably not happening with Fidelity is robust teacher coaching. Just like you would if you were an athlete or a musician, how are we focusing on helping our teachers get better that's going to keep them in the district and make them better at meeting the needs of a diverse set of learners? If we are to offer level learning, which I am a fan of, I want there to be no academic restrictions on who can engage in those courses, recognizing that there are going to be challenges if I put myself in this class that might be above what I'm ready for, having an out for a student, but also giving them the opportunity, as opposed to right now where it would appear that our target is the low middle of each course, at least in 9th and 10th grade. I think the challenges that exist in 11th and 12th grade are robust. but why should students and families have to wait until then to really get that push? And my understanding is they're doing something different in math, starting at younger grades to like accelerate math learning, which I think is in theory a great idea. But I don't know that I see that at the high school or in other content area.
Thank you. So here's a long one. In light of the dismantling of the Department of Education and rollback of DEI, are you concerned about the future of federal funding, changing educational priorities, government mandates, and interference in the district's policies and priorities that may not be in line with the community's core values?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I don't think it's really clear what the implications are of the federal government right now. And I know that we educated kids for a long time before the Department of Education existed. And so I'm not saying that it's the right or the wrong idea, but how are funds allocated? How do we make sure that kids and staff are getting what they need? Because there's already a limit on the funding, and I don't know that this is going to make things better for public school districts. So yeah, I'm deeply concerned, and I don't know what the right answer is in getting clarity on impact. But I think partnering with local and state elected officials will go a long way. So I think whoever's the new, or whoever is leading the Department of Public Instruction, they're going to need to kind of show us the way.
Okay, so here's the last question. Communication between the board and residents is important. What is the board currently doing well, and is there work to be done?
So again, knowing that I have some level of ignorance, I think that the board is doing a good job of engaging in meaningful conversation around how to make the schools in Shorewood better. I've attended one board meeting virtually, one in person, and there's robust conversation. And again, I think the strategic planning process is engaging community members, whether you have school-age children or not. However, outside of that, I don't know what is being afforded community members to engage. So are there ad hoc committees that inform the board? Is the buy board between the village trustees and the school board, is that being taken advantage of? I don't think so, so that seems like a potential missed opportunity. And then I go back to the financial components of it. I know that we have a highly qualified business administrator, and what happens if tomorrow that person, for whatever reason, disappeared? Where will we be as a district? Where's the transparency in how funds are being used? What risks are coming down the pike? What financial strengths exist? And I have no doubt that there are professionals in Shorewood that have high financial acumen. We should be taking advantage of their expertise to help, if nothing else, be an advisory group. And I think we probably do that in other areas of like how schools operate. Not to make decisions as much, but to help us, because I'm certainly not an expert in all areas, and I don't think it's fair to expect that the board should be or that the superintendent should be. So there's lots of talent in Shorewood. How are we taking advantage of it? And it's a win-win, because then I think those community members are more bought in to what's happening in the district, feel a stronger voice. So that's my hope.
Great. So that's it. So is there anything that we didn't touch on, or any last words that you want to share about yourself or your vision?
We love living in Shorewood. I think it's a terrific community. I really want more school-aged families to feel like they have a voice and feel like the school district is doing right by their children. And while I don't necessarily think that state rankings are the most valid, it is a way that families choosing Shorewood can say, oh, this district is stronger than that district. And I feel confident that if I move here, they're going to do right by my kids. And so if you look at those rankings, they have not been going the way you would want. The trend is negative. And so how do we turn that around? Knowing that I think the educators that work in Shorewood work hard and are excellent and need leadership and guidance and accountability to do their job to the best of their ability.
Well, excellent. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Yeah.
And best of luck, and thank you for serving the community.
Thank you. Thank you for what you do.